Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ron O'Donnell, and in my very first video that I gave you, I entitled it Foreclosure Ammunition, and I promised you that I would go ahead and do follow-up videos. This is the very first follow-up video. And now I'm not in the garage, I'm in the family room. This particular video is going to focus just on why you need a Lis Pendens. And I'm going to try to do it succinct and to the point. I'm going to use an example. When a retail store installs cameras in their store, they cannot stop a person from coming in and robbing their store. Their very best that they can do is to record the robbery. And I'm using the word record over and over because when we're dealing with commodities, retail stores, etc., what they do when they record someone stealing from the store is they take that recording and they give it to the proper authorities. Then the proper authorities can act on that recording. Now let's go to the county recorder's office. It's, in this country, 300 years old. But it's actually the first recording of public documents in America. It is a written film. It is a written transcription of what took place. This was all designed by our forefathers. And if you look, you'll see the statute of frauds to prevent fraud. So the system is 300 years old. It's not new. In fact, it's what held our country together. Proper recording of documents is the substance that holds this country together. So now, why a Lis Pendens? I'm going to try to make this as simple as I possibly can. Lis Pendens means action pending. Is brought by the plaintiff, and if you're the defendant in a lawsuit, well, you're going to bring a counter complaint or a cross complaint, and then you'll be the plaintiff in that action. And you're going to tell the world that you're having a problem. Now, your particular problem may be different from a million other people's particular problem. Your problem may be fraud in the inducement. In other words, you took out this loan at 8%, and they promised you that, well, if you pay the payments for 2 years, they'll reduce it now down to 2.5. Well, of course, now they're out of business. FDIC took them over, and, the interest was assigned and assigned and assigned and assigned over and over and over, and now you don't even know who your lender is. Some of these loans have been assigned up to 20 times, which means they've been bought and sold on Wall Street over 20 times. All through the MERS system. Now, what is the MERS system? The MERS system was a system designed to avoid the county recorder's office so that they could do their transactions, reselling and assigning and reselling and assigning over and over and over without having to report to the public what they were doing. Well, they said that system in about 1996, actually. And they sold it to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, government, and every major bank, the too big to fail banks. Then they say it was to save recording fees. Well, actually it was to avoid the camera. So why is this important? And why is this different than filing an affidavit? Or why is this different from writing a letter to the Attorney General? Why is this different from contacting your state representative? Why is this different from your senator, What's so important about a Lis Pendens? Well, let's go back to real estate law. These banks, these servicers, these institutions have a question on their paperwork when they're reselling and reassigning your home to another party. And the question is, has a Lis Pendens been filed on the property? Are there any questions as to the validity of the title? And they have a box to check. Yes or no. Well, that pretty much simplifies everything. If a Lis Pendens has been filed, they have to tell their next sucker, their next investor, that there's an action pending on the property. An action in fraud. And there's 10 different types of fraud. I looked up in Black's Law Dictionary for you what fraud is legally. Fraud is the intentional, material representation of a material fact. So it's a very broad scope definition. It just about covers everything. But you need to think and say, well, was I defrauded? Was I made promises that the mortgage broker didn't keep, or the lender didn't keep, or the servicer didn't keep, or that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA didn't keep? You need to list those promises that were made to you and attach them as part of your Lis Pendens. Because again, a Lis Pendens says that we're having a problem. Here's my affidavit. Attach it to the back. Now, there's been some discussion that you need a judge's approval for a Lis Pendens to be filed. That's totally incorrect. That's what the lenders and the bankers and the people that committed the fraud don't want you to know. If you walk into a store and you rob it, and you're stealing merchandise, well, of course you don't want a camera on it. Think about it. If you could say, well, wait a minute, I'm stealing, these diamonds from the shelf, or these earrings, or these tennis shoes, take that camera down. That's ridiculous, isn't it? That's exactly the argument that they're making. That's exactly the argument that you've got to fight against. The purpose of the county recorder's office is to avoid all this. Once you have a Lis Pendens filed and the next sucker gets stuck with that loan, they call them derivatives, securitizations, asset-backed securities. We'll get into this later in other videos. But what it is, it's the next sucker down the line, whether it be the Bank of China or the Bank of the Saudis or, Iceland, as you know, went bankrupt. They corrected their problem, though, because they got right down to this, and they stopped it in its tracks. I give them credit for that. Investors will not invest in a property that has a notice of cloud, Lis Pendens, on the title to the property. Because after all, that's all they're buying, is a clean and clear title. As soon as they even suspect that there's a cloud on the title, it stops the investor from buying into the next assignment. So what we're doing effectively by filing the Lis Pendens, and again, I'm going to show you a video right now, that came out just today from the Texas Attorney General that says that the county recorder's offices, just not only in Texas but nationally, have no discretion as to whether or not they can file a Lis Pendens or any other document. They're just there, they're filing clerks. And by the way, for my friends in Pittsburgh and out there in Pennsylvania, prothonotary. Everybody goes, oh, we got to go to the prothonotary's office. Oh my God, the prothonotary office. Well, break down the word. Prothon means, number one, notary. The big notary. All they do is record what you give them. When you walk in, you hand them the document, they must record it. It's not a matter of discretion. And then if they don't, you get a letter saying, hey, these are the documents that I presented to you. You did not record it. And that's what you send to your attorney general. That's what you send to law enforcement. Because they're complicit in the fraud if they refuse to record your notice of the clout on title. By the way, this stops the illegal MERS assignments in its tracks. As soon as you record a Lis Pendens, MERS, we all talked about the Mortgage Electronic Registration System and their, affiliate company, can't sell it anymore. They can't find the next sucker. The derivatives stop regarding your property now. That's the effect of a Lis Pendens. And again, you support your Lis Pendens with affidavits, and we'll have the next video that will show you what to attach on the back of a Lis Pendens when you take it to the county recorder's office. Now, what is the problem? The problem is the lenders can actually continue with the foreclosure. That's really, I know, crazy. But that means once you file that Lis Pendens, that anything that they do after that, they're accountable for fraud. No longer is it a mistake, or no longer is it an accident, or no longer is it, levels of criminal liability, misrepresentation. It's out and out fraud. And they know that. That's why they created the MERS system. Because the public record, the public camera, the whole 300-year history in this country, real estate law is what it's called. And that's what I taught in college since 1978. Real estate law demands, not requests, demands that the lenders file each and every document, and I mean each and every document, at the county recorder's office. They haven't done that. Oh, guess what? Now we have a financial crisis. Is that a surprise to anybody out there listening to me? It speaks for itself. I want you to record your Lis Pendens. All you need to do is list the purchasers on that loan agreement and the sales agreement, the property address, the common property address, your address. Make a photocopy of the legal description and call it an attachment, because you don't want to have to sit there and try to make a mistake and type out, from the left, perch to the right perch, old English, or from this meter to that meter, or to this centimeter, Just make a photocopy of what you signed in your original loan agreement. Attachment. It's called incorporated by reference. You don't have to redo and hire, an appraiser or anything like that. Your original loan agreement, it's already on there as an attachment. And sign it and march down there and pay $16. What you've just done. And if you have affidavits that you've been defrauded, you could attach those too. If you have letters to the OCC, you could attach those too. If you have a legal claim, you could attach it too. But file it at the county recorder's office. It's not a requirement that you have all your information. The only requirement is that you filed a complaint. Action pending. It doesn't say Superior Court action. It doesn't really define what kind of action. An OCC complaint is an action pending. A complaint with the Treasury Department of the United States of America, I would think, is an action pending. But again, that's all a matter of interpretation right now. Preferably, you would actually have, in California, Superior Court action with a case number pending. But you notice the OCC gives you a case number, and that's the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, and you can do it online. They'll give you a case number online in 2 minutes. You refer to that case number if you have nothing else. If you don't have the money to hire an attorney, if you don't have the money, at least you have something. You're telling the world for $16, we got a problem here. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you a video from Texas. I want you to look at that video. It's only 2 or 3 minutes, less than what I've spent here. And it's a county clerk down there, I believe it's Dallas. And it's going to be really informative to you. It'll really help you. Just so you know, it's not me sitting here in my family room's opinion. It happens to be law enforcement's opinion in the state of Texas. And like they say, don't mess with Texas. So with that, I'm going to go. I wish you the best. If you'll go ahead and look up Foreclosure Ammunition. We're expanding our technology. We're expanding our websites. We're expanding our communication skills on a daily basis. And I'm hoping that we'll go viral. That's my goal here. But you need the information. You need to know that you're not just walking out there all alone. There are 4 million people already foreclosed on. And there's going to be 4 million more, and who knows where that ends. And you need to stop it now. And the way you stop it, this is one of the ways you stop it. And like I said, I'm putting together a workbook. I'm going to sell it for $29.99. I'm going to give you 5 years of research. All you'll have to do is send in the forms, send in the forms, send in the forms, because they're all going to be in there. It's a workbook, not a book that you read on the airplane. You take it home, you'll fill them out, you'll make copies for your records, and you'll send them to the federal government, to the state government, to the county government, to your representatives, to Congress. I mean, we have 3 branches of government, remember? You're going to send to all 3 branches. And with that, I just want to say God bless you and God bless America. And I hope I can help. If there's someone in the dire straits right now, my email address is rnldonnell@aol.com. My phone number, my cell phone number, is 724-216-4765. I hope to get this all finished within the week. It may take 2 weeks. But I promise you this. I'll be working on this every single day until I get this done. And with that, I hope you also, every single day, protect yourself. Do not give up your home. Do not quit. Do not lose hope. Hope is on the way. And thank you.
Because there's a missing link there and they don't know.
It's something where there's a joint responsibility. I mean, the county clerk's hands are tied to some extent. They have got to file, by law, any documents that are presented to them. Even if they, the documents come in and they're like, we think this document's really fishy, they have to file it. Now, they can, if they're firmly convinced that it's a fraudulent document, then take that document to